What's up, YouTube? Each and every one of you guys suck. Right? It's kind of how I feel like we're greeting people these days. It's crazy the amount of entitlement and rude people there are in this world these days. It's not hard at all to be a halfway decent human being. It's really not.
You and I know you about that life.
I see this happening more and more on a daily basis of people just slamming one another. Just for honestly no apparent reason. It's going back to like in 6th grade when being the class clown was funny and making fun of someone would make others laugh. And we are adults now, people. Being rude and disrespectful to one another isn't cute. It's quite disgusting, honestly. I see it happening all over social media all the time. I think everybody does. It's real simple to avoid that. Just get off social media. But you see it more and more in the world. There's so much entitlement and so much, so-and-so shouldn't have this because I have this, or I did it this way, so my way's the best way, or nobody helped me, so nobody should help you, or I've been trying for this long and it happened for you, so you don't deserve it. No. Guys, we're moving backwards. As humanity, we're freaking moving backwards if that continues to be our mentality. What happened to good job? What happened to I'm proud of you? What happened to supporting one another, not just because it looks good to the world, or not just because tagging so-and-so and sharing their stuff makes you look good to a certain company? No. What happened to just doing stuff and being a good person? Over the last couple weeks, what's kind of inspired this video or made me think about making this video is I've seen a decent amount of GoFundMe pages get started. Everything from someone's house burnt down to a Sur-Ron got stolen to a popular one-wheeler racing getting injured and asking for a little bit of help. I'm no stranger to GoFundMes. I used to have to start GoFundMe pages to get to races, to get to events, things like that. Big shout out to everyone who's ever lended me a helping hand in my entire life. And at times, yeah, it was a major strike to my ego, and it did hurt. It sucks having to reach out and say, hey, I'm not able to do something right now. Is there any way someone can lend me a helping hand? Asking for help in so many aspects of life is really hard. It's something a lot of us were taught not to do, especially as a man. As a man, you do not stand up and ask anybody for help. You work for yours. You make things happen on your own, no matter what it is you do. That's what we're taught from a young age. And that's fine. I'm a firm believer in standing on your own 2 feet and making things happen. I'm also a firm believer in helping one another. And if you're on top, helping the guys at the bottom. No matter what anybody says, and I know the comment section's probably going to go crazy about this, but no matter what anybody says, none of us are self-made. I have self-made tattooed across my chest because at one point in my life, I thought that I was completely self-made, that nobody had ever helped me, and that I did everything on my own, and I made every play happen, and all the hustling was me, and all the late nights, and all the hard work, and all that was me. But at the end of the day, it wasn't. I put in the hard work, yeah, but somebody gave me that job. I hustled, yeah, but somebody put me on. I worked my way up, and these aren't all handouts. Just because you get help doesn't mean you're accepting a handout. Doesn't mean that you're a poor or person or a weak person or anything like that. It just means you needed help. There's nothing wrong with needing help as a human being. It's sad that we live in a world these days that asking for help is something that gets judgment placed upon you. It's sad that asking for help is something that will make people turn up their nose and look at you differently. It's a damn shame, in my opinion. It really is. Now, I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that we should all be coddled like this little dragon here. This little dragon here lives in a tank. I feed him every day. I get water every day. I take care of it. I love this little thing. I don't believe human beings should be coddled like this. We are not pets. We are not, as adults, we are not babies. So I'm not saying the whole life should revolve around handouts and everybody should just make it by asking for help. But when you're working hard and you're trying to accomplish something and you're doing everything you possibly can, but you just need a little help, again, it doesn't make you a lesser person, and we should stop looking at one another like that. I've been places before. I've been in California. I was in California on a trip that I actually was paid for by GoFundMe, and I had like $30-something, I think. While I was there for a few days out there with the hooligans and stuff, and I stopped and I gave a dude my last $20. I was there for another 2 or 3 days. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I would figure it out. You know, I knew I would, and I'm sure that $20 helped that man a lot more than it helped me. Calm down, baby. Everybody's had a struggle. Everybody's had trials and tribulations in their life. Some of us got screwed and nobody was there to help us. Some of us were born with a silver spoon in our mouth and have never even had to ask for help, let alone you don't understand that your whole life you've been having help. Health insurance, for instance. This may come as a surprise to a lot of people, but for those in lower class, even a lot of people in middle class, it's hard enough paying rent. Every bill you have, putting food on the table, paying for phone bills, everything that comes with life, and then still having the money at the end of the month to pay for something like medical insurance. So there's a lot of people out there that aren't insured. I'm not going to get into that whole thing because that's an issue. Oh my God. But there's people out there struggling every night to eat. So just remember that before you go and you talk down on someone's GoFundMe page, or you walk past that homeless guy asking for change in front of 7-Eleven. Just because you're up right now doesn't mean you're always going to be up. You might end up needing help one day too. And I promise you, the last thing when you're dealing with having to ask for help, your ego is already beating you up. You're already feeling bad about having to ask for it. You're already in a shitty position, obviously, because you are asking for help. There's obviously a lot of stress there anyways. And to have all that combined with negativity from the world, it sucks. We can't change everybody's life, and we can't make this whole world frickin' butterflies and rainbows. But one little good deed at a time can go really, really far. And if you don't even want to do a good deed, just quit doing shitty stuff. If you don't like someone's Facebook post, scroll past it. If you think somebody's asking for handouts by starting a medical GoFundMe page, scroll past it. Mind your own business. It's pretty simple, folks. I'm not coming out trying to sound rude. I'm not calling out nobody. I'm not talking to nobody in particular. I'm just simply asking you if you can find it in yourself to try to go out and be a little bit better of a human being. And please understand, you don't know everyone's situation. You don't know everyone's struggle. You don't know what that person you're looking at right now is going through at that very moment. So before placing judgment or anything like that, try to think back to the times in your life when you had help. Try to think back to the times in your life when you needed somebody or something. Regardless of how tough and macho all of you guys are, I know at some point in your life you've had help, or you've needed or wanted somebody there. So I know this isn't going to be a super viewed video, and I know that A lot of people aren't going to necessarily agree with what I'm saying, or they're going to misconstrue it, or they're going to take what I'm saying wrong. But again, it's my channel. It's my video. It's how I feel about things. I don't think it's a bad thing to want to see others treat others better. It's something I struggle with. I try every day. You talk to a lot of people, they'll say I'm an asshole. I try not to be an asshole for real, but it's something I work on every day. I'm not going to make an excuse about it. I can be an asshole sometimes. I can. But when it comes to being a human being and having a heart, that's something I'll die before I lose. I'll always speak up for the kids in the gutter. I'll always speak up for them people under bridges. I'll always speak up for the black sheeps of their family. I'll always be one of everything I just mentioned. That's who I am. No matter how successful or unsuccessful I ever am. I know where I came from. I'm proud of where I came from. I'm proud of the people in my life that have done what they've done to help me become who I am. And I appreciate every single one of you guys for watching. I'm sorry this wasn't a super hype video, or this wasn't a sending in on a whole bunch of stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed some of the riding footage I threw in here, but yeah. Go out there and just try to be a little bit nicer of a person. Just a teeny bit. Much love to everybody.